Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a new season of these game show commentaries with me, Harold Rutherford Yack. Today with me I have an old friend. His name is John, Mr. JL76Gaming. Hello!
Ahoy there, Mr. Yack. How's it going?
Ahoy there, Executioner. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am fabulous. Fabulous.
Fan-flippin-tastic, I must say. So, what is this show? This retro British game show that we are watching today?
It's a Crystal Maze, a classic, and actually I was surprised, just doing a bit of research to re-jog my memory, and surprised that this actually aired between 1990 and 1993, I believe it was, so it's actually a lot older than I thought. I mean, I knew it was 90s, but I didn't actually think it. I think looking at this, it finished in 1995, in fact, so it's been off air for 20 years.
I do believe it's been repeated to high hell and back, because I remember watching this as late as possibly 97, 98 and thinking it was new.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, hold on. Why on earth does he have handcuffs?
Because he's kinky.
Ooh, didn't know you were so kinky.
Here we go. Tracy Woodcock.
Can I just bring up a point that somebody's made?
Yeah.
A comment by the YT Chronicles. God, the fashion of the 90s made people look older than they really were. So these people here, how old do you think they are?
Does it not tell you? It doesn't. I think they're late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
Somewhere.
They're around about, yeah, the last bloke I believe was 19, but they're generally mid-20s. She's 27, I believe.
How do you know this? It doesn't say.
Because I watched this the other night.
Oh, you sadist.
Ooh.
Look at where he stands with authority, with his hands on his hips. Put your hands on your hips.
Right, so here we are at the beginning of the maze. We're outside I think it's the industrial zone, meeting the contestants. I used to enjoy these parts because at this point we're outside the maze, but we've got to get inside somehow. And there's some sort of challenge that the team has to face to get in there first.
Yeah, like the Aztec one was, I think it's on a canoe or something, wasn't it? Depending on what end you're coming into, of course.
Yes, that's right. I used to hate that intro because they used it every flipping week, and people would always capsize and go, whoa, whoa!
I can never, because it's been such a long time since I watched it, but I remember when I watched it at the time, I always thought, if I was ever on this show, I would like to start in a particular zone, because it's a different way to get in. So I always thought, for example, it was easier to get into the futuristic one, perhaps. I can't remember, but in my brain, there was always one I would start off with if I was on it.
Yes, I know what you mean. And there are different tasks that the team must face when they're passing between the zones. So they've thought of everything on this show, haven't they? Not only is it a task to collect the crystals and do the challenges, but you must also pass between the zones. Oh, was that a key that he had?
The key. No, he's making those guys climb over. He's just going to get in with the key.
Oh, Richard O'Brien, you sneaky swine, you.
He must be a fair age now, Richard O'Brien.
Well, I was going to say this. Richard O'Brien never seems to get any older.
Yeah.
Have you seen him on TV recently? He still looks about 35.
I've not seen him on TV, no. Yeah, he's ageless. Of course, famous for being in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Great film. Great film.
And here we are in... This is the industrial zone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed.
And he's putting his hard hat on. I don't know why.
I think it's just for effect, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Because that's selfish of him. He's keeping it for himself and all these poor contestants. The visitors, the guests, they don't get them. They'll have to brave the falling debris from the studio roof.
Let's just face it, though. There's not any danger. He's just putting that on for effect. Because he's a funny man.
It's probably made of plastic as well. Oh, here we go.
So what's this? I can't hear it. Is this a skull game or is it a mystery?
I missed it. I don't know.
I always thought to myself, you pick a skull game or a physical game or a mystery or whatever, but they all seem the same. It's like, how is that a mystery? That could be a skull or a physical. So
yes.
It's weird.
Maybe that's something that the producers used to their own effect. Maybe actually they edited that stuff in afterwards. We will never know.
We'll never know. We need to get a guest on at some point that's been on a Crystal Maze.
Yes, of course. I'm sure there are hundreds of people out there. So, guys, if you're watching this, please get in touch because we'd love to do a commentary with you, preferably on your episode. That would be great.
Yes, that would be awesome. Do you know what I always thought as well? See if I was ever on this and I'm the one that's doing the task or whatever, that would just bug the life out of me. If all those guys in the background going, do this, do that, I'd be like, I'll do it my way, alright? Yeah.
That's interesting, actually, because watching this show with the sound turned up, which you obviously can't do right now because you're listening to us, but if you watch this again later, then you'll notice that only Richard O'Brien and maybe the contestant in the room is mic'd up, I think, because the other contestants screaming often sound distant, as if they're a few meters away from the mic.
Maybe it's just clever editing.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Come on! Carry on! No, there's 20 seconds!
Yeah, don't give up, woman.
Miscommunication there. Hey, hold on a minute. That bloke then, that's the T-1000 from Terminator 2. What's the name of the dude?
Robert Patrick.
It's him.
Yes.
Say, that's a nice bike.
Oh, she doesn't look happy.
The crystal was right there, love.
Oh, come on, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up, love.
Oh, she doesn't have long enough arms, so tough luck. For a minute there, I thought he was going to grab it and say, oh, you can have that, because he would often do that. If the team were doing bad, he would take pity on them and say, go on then, you've won that, and give it to them.
Do you think they ever got to keep the tracksuits?
No,
Didn't
probably not. Yes, of course. In fact, by the end of this series, you can see that they're getting baggy because they've been worn hundreds of times. Oh, lovely. A word puzzle. Oh, I used to love these word puzzles. Oh, look at that TV. So 80s.
That guy looks as if he's like a reject from New Kid on the Block.
He does a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Right, so
You've
got to complete the words across.
The second one's going to be a paddle, isn't it? Perhaps.
Yes, there's a par, though,
Yeah,
so it probably is.
Yeah, paddle. I'll be good at this one.
No, actually, he looks like Rick Astley.
Excuse me for my phone going in the background.
That's okay. Would you like to take that? Hello, this is Richard O'Brien. Would you like to be on the Crystal Maze revival, Jonathan? No, we'd like you down here in London for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And he's got one.
Needles. Well done, son.
As in pins and needles. And Richard is dancing around.
Yes, he gets bored very easily. Yes, of course, because that's what you used to do, play the mouth organ.
Yes, just randomly, just butt in with the mouth organ. And it will be the same tune each time. Oh,
yes.
There he is.
Well done, smart.
That was filmed afterwards, that small part. Quick. No. Apmickle isn't the word. Apmickle.
Admickle.
It's because someone said corporal earlier. That's not how you spell corporal. Anyway, he's got plenty of time. Comical.
Comical timing. Right,
he's got it! He's got the crystals!
Yes.
Yay!
That's a reasonable start, 1 out of 2. You can't. He looks about 16. I think he's the youngest member of Bullets Defense.
Yes. 19, I think he was.
Do you think we'll get to see Mumsy in this episode?
Possibly not. I used to enjoy it when Mumsy appeared because it was as if it was Nightmare or something. I don't know if she acted in Nightmare or what, but it reminded me a lot when other actors were inside the rooms, which wasn't very often. There was one in the Aztec zone where there were some some muscly dudes. Watch this. This is amazing. I'm just going to be quiet while he does this.
Right? It's sort of. It's eye. Get the eye. That's it.
I hate these puzzles.
That's it. He's got it.
Oh,
And he's done it. How has he done that?
That is amazing.
How did he do
Play.
that? They give him 3 minutes to do it, but he does it in 30, less than 30. Well done, Rick Astley.
See, he was never going to give it up.
Hey! And he was never going to let his team down. He was never going to run around and desert them.
It's true, true. I think Mums. It's ironic. Mumsy, I think, was probably at least the same age as Richard O'Brien, if not younger.
That's a good point. Well, what did he jump over that water for?
I don't know, but it wouldn't have been funny if he fell in.
Yes, it would have been fantastically funny, but unfortunately, they probably would have refilmed it.
Oh, I bet there's an outtake where he does fall in.
Ah, right. I'm glad you brought this up, because have you ever seen the 2 Crystal Maze Outtakes videos on YouTube?
I've not seen him.
Yes, there are 2 videos which basically show up the whole show is fake. No, it's not really. You can just hear the floor managers, etc., saying, call for the child of 4, and things like that. It's fantastic. Go and look it up if you haven't already. Crystal Maze Outtakes.
Yeah, just finishing up Mumsy. It always appears in the medieval zone, so if we get to see it, it'll be in the medieval zone.
Yes. If you had to live in one of the 4 zones, which one would you reside in?
I think, I was going to jump right in there and say futuristic, because it looks cleaner and it's more futuristic, obviously gadgets and stuff, but then I thought maybe the Aztec one, because that's warmer.
Good point. Well, the futuristic zone has a robot, or rather a computer, who you can talk to and you'd never get bored. But there again, the Aztec zone has those muscle-bound blokes who you can also chat to. But there again, you wouldn't get much out of them because they'd say, the crystal is in the XYZ and nothing else.
And personally, I don't know if I would really want to spend my time talking to muscly men. That's just a personal point of view. If people want to do it, it's completely up to them. But me personally, I'd rather talk to Mumsy.
Get the crystal! Line the bell! Line the bell! It's crystal! Who?
Now, what is he doing here? Look, the crystal is behind you. Get it! Come on!
Get it, yeah.
Yes, it's underneath the bell, and he's only just... Oh,
He's got it. Has he got it? Oh, he's
dropped
given up.
it.
No, he's given up.
he dropped it. Unlucky, unlucky.
You like your team down there, son, after the last couple of good games?
Oh, look at it there. Oh, so tantalizing. That part was filmed afterwards, by the way, wasn't it?
It was fun.
That shot.
Yeah. It was funny when they used to get locked in, because they didn't get out in time. It's like, we'll just leave him behind.
I used to think that they would have to wait there all day while the rest of the team had a load of fun. Basically, it would take a whole afternoon, wouldn't it, to do the whole Crystal Maze, the whole filming. But they would have to sit there for that whole time in that room bored. I'm sure they would have let them out, because they wouldn't have actually had to sit there while they carried on filming and listen to all the others going, oh, look at him in there, he's stuck in there.
This area reminds me of Doom.
Oh, it does a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. But also they're moving on. Do not dance here. They're moving on to it looks as if they're going to a futuristic one, perhaps. Oh, it's time for a break.
We're moving on to a crystal break. And
Yes.
that's the old series intro there.
By the magic of the internet, we are already back from the break.
Oh, you cheats! What are you doing? You're supposed to...
Cheating.
Oh, I think that's what you're supposed to do, actually. Just walk across it.
It's funny as well when they played games where there's water in the room and they get soaked, then they have to get sent off to get dried off.
Oh, yes, that used to happen in the Ocean Zone, which unfortunately we're not going to see because the Ocean Zone replaced the Industrial Zone.
Or fortunately, as the case may be, because I can't remember if the Oceanic one came in when Edge of the Pole started or if it came in before. But I didn't like it. I preferred
Really?
I preferred the Industrial Zone.
I preferred the Industrial one too, I think, because there were lots of computers and things there. I believe.
Yeah. Yes. Here we go. So we might see Mumsy in a minute. Not in this one though.
Oh, not this one. Right, so you basically got to fire these pebbles at these shields, make them turn round, and eventually the crystal will come towards you.
So would this be a skill or a physical? I think it's probably a skill, isn't it?
Skill, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily very physical. You just got to fire the catapult.
I wouldn't mind, because I always remember watching this and thinking, I wouldn't have fancied taking this one on, but I fancied taking this one on. This is one of the ones I think I would have fancied, because it's some of them are a wee bit. I've not got the best brain in the world. So see that one with a big puzzle with Richard's face on it. I wouldn't have been any good at that, for example, because I hated those puzzles.
Yes. Neither would I, to be honest. I wonder if they had any inkling as to what the game would entail, if they were given any clue, or if they could peek through the window just to see what the game was before they actually chose who would do which game. Because it seemed that that bloke, he was well versed in that sort of puzzle game. He must have done that hundreds of times as a kid. He must have had the Pepsi can. It was basically one of those puzzles in a Pepsi can, and I could never do it.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. No, I think possibly, like, let's face it, it's so like Crystal Maze, you don't just get on it. You must have to audition. You must have to go through a process. So I can only imagine that they would have to play these games as like an audition. So maybe this is one that he'd played in the past.
It could be, yes. Yeah. Or it could be that somebody showed him how to do the puzzle. Or he'd already done it once and they told him to refilm it. And that's why he did it so quick.
No, possibly, I just don't see that happening. I don't think they would get them to redo it. Maybe they would. I don't see why they would, but the other thing is that you have to remember, you know, when it started at, most of the face was already made up. It was already the top 4 or 5 corner ones he had to move about. It wasn't the hardest. It's not as if his face was upside down or anything.
As hard as you can. Oh, as hard as you can. Go.
Come on, Chris. Come on, Chris.
Oh, yeah! It's rolling. It's rolling. You ready? Yeah. Coming out. Yeah! All right.
They got another crystal. So
Hey, yes. So, is that 3 now?
I think it's 3.
Yes. So how many seconds generally did they need to get the grand prize at the end?
I think you needed at least 60 seconds, which is how many crystals? It's 5 seconds per crystal.
That's 10.
10 crystals. No, 12.
No, it's not. It's 12. Showing up my terrible math skills now.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't do simple maths, which is quite ironic since my job requires maths. But anyway, yeah.
Well, we have calculators in this day and age, and we also have mouth organs.
Random mouth organs.
Random mouth organs to save us from bad maths.
He's got his. He's copying.
I know, we've predicted each time he would play his harmonica so far.
Anybody would think you've watched this before and then watched it back.
Yes, which I certainly have not, even though I already admitted to it. Yes. So I believe I remember this particular game from the Crystal Maze activity book, which I had back in the mid-90s. There were various different things that you could cut out and build and play little games on your living room floor. I don't remember what they were necessarily. There were lots of little board games with counters and you would answer questions or get simple maths puzzles wrong in my case.
Yeah, I think
and advance to the next zone, etc. And yes. I attempted to sell my particular copy of the Crystal Maze activity book on the boot sale. A bloke came up to me and said, you should sell that on eBay. Incidentally, that same bloke bought my Super Nintendo off me for 10 quid and sold it on eBay. The swine!
Swine.
Yeah, the swines.
You were had.
No, will you stop it?
Olive, if she... What have we got there?
Yes. Positive thinking.
5, 4, no, 3, 2, One. Well,
She only had to turn it over and it was done. If she had 5 more seconds, she would have done it.
I'm not being sexist here, but it seems the women are letting the men down here. Just saying.
I've not been keeping count.
That's at least the second woman I've seen that's not got Crystal.
Is it generally 3 women and 3 men? Because I get the feeling these guys had never really met each other before. They weren't, say, work colleagues, because they would say, this guy's from Exeter, this guy's from Yorkshire, this guy's from Scotland, this guy's from Wales. So how could they work together? Unless they worked remotely or something.
Yeah, I never thought about that. You think it's maybe just 6 people thrown in together? Like, this is you're randomly being drawn in this group of people?
Yeah, I believe that was the case. So it's a bit pot luck whether you get drawn with some idiots or some total brain boxes. Oh, look at the tapestry on the wall. That's wonderful.
Cool. That's pretty cool. I didn't realise that. I thought it was a group of people, a group of friends. I thought it was.
Well, well, in the Crystal Maze Experience, I believe it was called, in Blackpool, which closed around 2000? I'm really not sure about that. All I remember is I always wanted to have a go at it, but my parents never would let me, so I have no idea what it entailed. But I assume you'd have to take, say, 6 work friends with you and go and complete the smaller version of the Crystal Maze.
I'd have loved to have done that. I really would. They should
Yeah.
bring it back. I know they've brought it back as a. Oh, what was it again? Is it not? A few months ago, they were saying they'll bring it back. You could book an experience. You could book an experience like with your friends. You could go and do it. I'm sure, and it's Richard O'Brien that's involved in it as well.
Yes, that's right. The
Yeah.
Crystal Maze is coming back in the form of a live stage show. And isn't that wonderful?
I'm hoping that it'll lead to more episodes. Might not. It might necessarily be Channel 4. It might be like Dave or something that does it.
Possibly, yes. Because people still watch the Crystal Maze. It's probably one of the most popular shows on Challenge TV here in the UK.
Yeah.
So bring it back. Why not?
Bring back the Crystal Maze.
Yes. And, oh, there we go. I reckon there is a bloke stood behind that false wall there, pulling the strings to make the door open. What do you reckon?
Possible.
What do
I
you
think
reckon?
so, because remember it was 1990 or whatever, 1993. They didn't have the technology.
Oh, look, there is the shadow of the cameraman.
How professional.
Oh, you couldn't avoid that, could you?
Right. Are they going to a different zone now, or is it another game? Yeah, it's got a different. Oh, they're going to have to climb up that rope. Careful.
We've got to cross.
Oh, I could not do that. I would fall in for sure. They're going to futuristic now.
You are here. John's favorite zone. Next on the Crystal Maze.
After this break, I bet he's got a shortcut. Oh, no, he's not.
That's an easier way to do it than using that rope,
Yeah.
isn't it?
He must have went through so much training before he did this.
Oh, all his stage show training. Geez, her makes her look about 20 years older. It really does.
It does. It does not do it any favours at all. Yeah, I always find it funny watching back 90s game shows like Family Fortunes. The shirts and the trousers were always very high. I found in the 90s.
Oh, I wear my trousers quite high. I always have.
I can't say I've noticed.
Maybe it's because... Oh, yes, because we have met in person, haven't we? Maybe it's because we used to tuck our shirts in so you could just see that the trousers were higher. Because have you ever seen Lee Cattermole, the footballer? He always looks as though he's got his shorts pulled right up to his nipples or something.
I never noticed, I have to say.
This is a nerve-wracking game, I must say.
Yeah, that's like, is that actual string?
Those are laser beams. Again, I believe there is a man in the other room that's pressing the button to say when they've broken the thing, because you would have to give them a certain amount of leeway with this one. It looks so difficult.
It's not actual laser beams because I've seen something moving here. I think it's ropes.
Oh, yes, they are. The wobbling. Oh, he said they were laser beams. He lied to us. Why would Richard O'Brien lie to us? Yeah, they are string.
Do you think they had the technology back then to have actual laser beams?
Yes, they are string. They are shoelaces from 1980s trainers that they've bought from the charity shop.
I think she's going to do this.
Come on. This is very tense.
It's tense. Do 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 do. Very dark in there.
Did she touch that then?
I don't know.
Obviously not.
Take a breather. You've got plenty of time.
She's still only had the one error. One light, I should say.
It's actually quite hard to tell what's going on. That makes it more nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Yeah, that I seen that moving there. Did you not see that moving?
30 seconds.
It looked like the yellow one and the red one passed through each other, but... And she's done it!
I think she got a lot of leeway there. I think she did.
I think you've got to give her a lot of leeway. That's a difficult one. Automatic lock-in.
Well done. Go get a haircut now.
Chris reminds me of someone. I can't quite place my finger on who.
Oh, is that that? Did you make the Snipple reject guy, you mean?
Yes.
I think he looks a bit like Allegedly Eddie when he was younger.
He does a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope Eddie wouldn't be offended if we said that.
No. Surely not.
Incidentally, going off topic slightly, on the subject of Electric Eddie, I recently noticed there was an archived version of an old teletext service that had a type-in for a video game called, funnily enough, Electric Eddie. So I wonder if that's where Electric Eddie got his name from. A type-in on telesoftware on teletext.
Well, see, if I'd had that information when Allegedly Eddie came on Desert Island Games, I would have asked him.
So basically, Richard O'Brien has to tell this kid what he has to do here. And it's not entirely evident what you do have to do. He gets 3 minutes, and I believe he almost does it, but only because Richard O'Brien tells him the solution.
This is funny that this is futuristic. They're on about megabytes. Megabytes back in the 90s.
Yeah, 100 megabytes. Wow, I wish I had a hard drive with 100 megabytes on it.
Back in the 1990s.
Some help on this.
Do you have to add up the total for only one route?
Right.
Total out for one route.
To what?
He's shouting to the roof.
I wish I could hear it. For the folks listening at home, I can't hear anything of what's going on. It's not piping through my headphones.
Don't worry, I can fill in for Richard O'Brien.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that.
So why is Richard O'Brien telling them what to do? I don't understand.
Because he feels sorry for them. I believe at this point they're in losing status, to borrow a phrase from Nightmare, and they're helping them along and telling them what to do.
Plus 10, and then... minus 30.
Sure, it's just a case of the red ones going the red bits and the yellow ones going the yellow bits.
Well, he eventually figures out that most of them are different sizes, so...
Seen by the size of the seating.
Yep, he's just talking about it now.
45 seconds left or less now.
He's actually whizzing through this, now he's been given the solution. But he still won't do it.
Yeah, he's got too much to do, hasn't he?
I always liked the layout of this particular room with the red slats on the wall.
Right.
Oh, that was a bit dodgy then. It moved in its casing.
I think... Do you not think the Cube got a lot of its ideas from this?
Was that guy having a heart attack then?
Possibly.
There's a gigantic plug there.
Yeah.
No! Oh well.
Oh, well. Yeah, I've lost count. How many crystals did I have?
I don't know. I've been blathering on and playing mouth organ, so I guess it doesn't matter. That's pretty cool, though. They spent all that time making the massive plug and plug hole, and they probably never got the chance to film it.
Well, I think some of the games reappeared in future episodes, didn't they?
Oh, yes, yes.
Maybe they did. Was Richard just telling him how he should have done it?
Yes, he was just saying that you needed to plug it in.
Oh, you daft boy. Ah.
Oh, yes.
That's one of these mazes. I quite like these ones a little bit.
The Crystal Maze had a crazy fetish for these sorts of games. Oh, there we go. There's a magnet.
They get a thing at the end, don't they? That I cracked the Crystal Maze.
Yes, they get a
Crystal,
crystal
yeah.
in a box, which I guess is better than the blasted adventure holiday that you would get for winning it.
Yeah, ultimately the prizes they got weren't that good, were they?
Well, let me try and remember what they were. In the later episodes, they got to choose what they wanted, so it could be jumping out of an aeroplane and dropping to the death, or maybe going on an adventure holiday, orienteering, going to the FA Cup final or something like that.
That would be good.
I believe that was a prize at one point, and another magnet.
They changed it up because I remember, I don't know which came first, but they did it. At one point, they each got their own individual prize, and then eventually, again, I don't know what order. Maybe it was the other way around, but also they won a package as a whole. That it was like the whole group got to go on an adventure holiday together, sort of thing.
Yeah, I know why they changed that, because off-screen, these guys probably didn't get along with each other. Because they didn't work with each other, they were just people from disparate parts of the country. How could they get together and go on an adventure holiday together?
So it was probably the team package first, then they changed it to individual. Then I imagine.
Yes, I think so.
Not that anybody, not that many of them actually won. That it's very rare that they actually won, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was just 1 or 2 times per series,
Yeah,
if memory serves. It was a very, very difficult game in that sense.
absolutely.
She's got too much makeup on there. She looks weird.
Yeah, I bet you though. I bet you if it was individuals thrown in together, there must have been some friendships formed through it.
Oh, probably, yes. I should think so. I wonder if any of these guys are still in touch with each other now. Maybe these guys are married to each other now.
It could be. That's what I was just thinking. I wonder if anybody ever met and managed somebody.
Yes, and they've got kids, Crystal Maze kids.
Yeah. Mr. Yack, this is something we need to investigate.
Yes, she is married to Rick Astley. No, she's married to the new kid on the block, I think. That girl playing the game now.
She might be married to Richard O'Brien for all we know.
One of his many concubines.
She has a mumsy-in-law.
Oh yes, a mumsy-in-law.
Yeah.
Very good.
We didn't get to see Mumsy in this episode. Never mind.
Well, we saw a glimpse of her just peering round the corner, but she wasn't actually in this episode, as in physically there, which is a pity. I wonder if that's something that they stole from Nightmare, actually having people in the rooms. Or was it, moving on to another subject, something from Fort Boyard, which this game show was based on?
Surely Fort Boyard came after this.
It did indeed, but I believe there was it a Belgian or French version of Fort Boyard, or whatever it was called, before the Crystal Maze, which this show was based on, and then the British Fort Boyard came much later.
Ah, yeah, maybe. Actually, I think I was starting to mention earlier on, but I forgot. I think I get sidetracked. I was going to say, surely some of this stuff, surely the cube was influenced by some of this stuff.
Right, you'll have to refresh my memory on the cube. I haven't seen it for a while.
Well, it's that show an ITV presented by Philip Schofield, and they have to do. They're in a big cube, obviously, and they've got all different types of games that they play. Surely there must be some influence there from the Crystal Maze.
Well, it's probably a huge rip-off, and the producers of this show are gonna sue.
15 seconds. 15.
Be near the crystal then.
Get her out at 4.
Get her out.
10.
Get her out.
9.
Oh, she's longing for that crystal.
She
No!
read it out. I mean, obviously, this is a team game. The Crystal Maze is a solo game, but some of the game ideas must surely take some influence, I think. Because especially the skill games.
I would guess so, yes, because Crystal Maze was such a big show that it would have been all-encompassing and must have had a quite big influence on game shows as we know it in the 90s. And we've taken the mick out of the sets on this show already. But, really, this is fantastic. If you compare this to all other game shows of the time, this is far and above. In fact, it's far and above some of the stuff you see on TV today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously looking back on it, it's dated, but when you compare it to everything else at the time, yeah, of course, yeah, we definitely agree that the set's much better.
I wouldn't even say that this is dated.
No, I wouldn't say it's that dated. The tracksuits are dated.
Oh, yeah, and the haircuts. And
Yeah,
the mullets. Oh, yes. I keep saying I'm going to get a mullet, but this year I'll do it, I promise.
maybe, I don't know. I think he's getting a lift. He's the dog up. He's getting a lift.
Lazy.
Lazy.
Richard O'Brien should get a mullet.
Oh, I think he's always been bald, hasn't he?
That's a bald wig, didn't you know?
They all think that he climbed up because they didn't see that lift.
I know, yes. Maybe he did in a different take and fell down. Right, so is this the last zone
It's the last. It's Aztec.
of the 4 zones?
You're right about her haircut. It makes her look way older than what she is. I bet she's only about 24, but she looks about 44.
There was a fantastic fact in the Crystal Maze activity book about the Aztec zone, and I think it said something like, temperatures regularly reach up to 40 degrees centigrade.
No way.
Oh, it was brilliant. I'm going to have to track down that book again and buy it.
Okay, now I know what to get for Harry Yack for his Christmas.
Oh, you're going to get me something for Christmas? Whoa!
I'll find it cheap enough, I might do.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We should do a retro and limb Secret Santa.
We should, shouldn't we? Funny enough, I was talking to Dave Price and Fate the Flinch about us earlier on. We're going to exchange Christmas presents, but we should actually do a Secret Santa.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, do it next year.
We will. Back to the show, though, because this pool, as Richard O'Brien is telling us right now, is full of sulfuric acid. If she falls in, well, she's melted, basically.
See, this is one of these games where you can get a crystal fairly easily, but it's getting back that's a problem. I find a lot of Aztec games were like this.
Oh, get that on properly, love. She's very good at this, though.
Yeah.
She's going to do it.
Let's not count our chickens just yet. It's got a wee bit to go.
I think they gave her too much time to do this, but maybe by this point they were being lenient on them because they knew that they weren't going to have enough crystals to do it, so they would generally do that. Sorry.
I often thought to myself, what makes them decide whether it's 3 minutes or 2 minutes? You're right, maybe if they've been lenient, they give them 3 minutes for what's normally a 2-minute game, perhaps.
I dare say they might have done that as the show went on, and based on how they were doing in the show and how good the team were, they would handicap them accordingly.
Yeah. So they're a bunch of dummies to get the got it easier.
Yes, and I guess most of it was for the sake of entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, what's this?
Okay, now, you can help him if you can. I think he needs a lot of help here.
I'd actually love if the Restaurant on Limb crew could get a shot of the Crystal Maze. Could you imagine?
Oh, we could try that now it's come back, couldn't we? Yeah. That would be pretty cool.
It would be. We could film it for the website.
Yes, and we've all got to wear early 90s tracksuits and mullets.
Yes. So we can be scousers. Hey.
Well, actually, we could potentially do that. We could set up our own escape room. Have you heard of escape rooms? This is a popular phenomenon that is springing up all over the world currently. Places like Manchester, Liverpool, in fact, all over the place. These specially purpose-built escape rooms, like the Crystal Maze, except it's just one room, and you've got to escape it by sequentially solving different puzzles within the same room.
Do you know, I think I've heard of this. I think one of my mates is on about this. I think there is one in Glasgow, actually.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, there's probably one near where you live, listener. Track it down and have a go at it, because they're quite cheap.
This is just essentially giant elastic bands.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, let me get rid of the door. I think he's won this.
Well done, sir. Well
With a
done.
minute left as well.
2 in a row. Good stuff.
If I'd have done that with a minute left, I would have taken the time to boogie on down within the room and give the cameramen an eyeful.
Done a wee dance, done a wee shimmy. Look at me, look at me. Andy get a kiss from that woman there.
And play my mouth organ.
You made a very good point. People don't show off enough. If there's a minute to go, why didn't he do something funny? Like, just arrogant and egotistical. Go, look at me, shimmy, and should have done that.
Right, now this looks like a multi-part room. So, first of all, he's got to get into the second part of the room, and somehow get the crystal from the chest, maybe. Let's find out. Let's watch and see, listeners.
Yar, the executioner would be good at this game. He likes to get a treasure chest. Ha ha ha.
Yar, the executioner is actually there. He's holding onto the chest. He will not let go of his booty for his dear death, because he is clearly dead, and he's been dead for many years. Yar.
There's one of the
Be gone! Stay away from my chest! This is my chest! I am the executioner, and I forbid ye from taking me booty. Sorry, John, you were going to say something.
You also turned a bit into Zippy there from Rainbow.
Oh, come on, George! Imagine if the cast of Rainbow played Crystal Maze.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh!
We've got some brilliant show ideas between us.
30 seconds, Zippy! I can't do it, George! I got them mixed up there, didn't I? That was...
Yeah.
Oh dear. Have you ever seen the early design of Bungle's costume?
No.
It's freaky. Don't look it up, you'll have nightmares.
I would suggest that the actual design was also freaky.
Who knows what he looked like? Because he was inside a costume.
What is he doing? I don't know what's in that chest, but it looks awfully heavy.
Ah, so he's got to use the log rolling technique to get it into the other room. Like the Easter Islanders had to do. Incidentally, that's how all the trees on Easter Island disappeared and they died out. The Islanders, that is.
I did not know that.
I saw a program on it many years ago. And I think it would have helped me if I went on Crystal Maze, except that show was broadcast in 2005, and the Crystal Maze was early 90s.
Oh well. Apart from that, a damn fine plan.
Yes.
Come on, son, you can do it.
He isn't going to do this.
What's he doing now?
No, that's not going to work.
That woman's trying to get in the room.
And help him.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done at Christmas on the last episode. Say, okay, everybody can go in the room and do it at once. Yay!
I wonder if there ever was a Christmas special. I don't think there was.
Oh yes, every year. They had kids.
Did they?
Yeah, and they were very good at it as well. They were actually sometimes better than the adults. Or at least I remember them being, but I was a kid as well. So, you know when you watch Newsround as a kid and think it's exactly the same as grown-up news?
Yeah.
To your brain, it is.
And then you realise they're talking to you in a patronising manner.
Yes,
Yeah.
when you watch it 20 years later, it's, today a man has died. His name was John. He ate a poisonous apple. And that was the news. The most condescending news ever.
The weather used to be condescending as well. And then, like, Billy Cornley did a Mickey take of the weather on an audience with Billy Cornley. He's like, this is a country where you live. This is a cloud. He's like, don't do that. I know what a cloud looks like.
Today, children, there is going to be water falling from the sky. See that big yellow ball? It's hot. Don't touch it.
So go. Good.
Yes.
Okay, you don't want another one on there yet, do you? No. Otherwise it'll go down too early. Oh.
Aim high.
Well, you don't
That's
want
good,
another one
that's
on there yet. But never mind, you're sort of stacking them up for the
Aim
future.
high.
Oh, just a bit higher.
Right, so he's using giant onion rings here.
I was going to say they're giant, what do you call them?
Cheerios!
Cheerios, that's what I was looking for. I was going to say sugar puffs.
This is the breakfast cereal game.
Yeah.
Oh, the Honey Monster. I'll tell you a story about the Honey Monster.
Go on.
Wigan Athletic versus Tottenham Hotspur in 2013. I noticed that the Honey Monster was there as a mascot at the game. He was there! It was him! I never got a chance to go up to him and hug him or anything like that and say that he was my hero. Probably because he would have kicked me in the balls. But I always remember that. It was weird.
Yeah. You'd think the Honey Monster would be somebody's mascot full time.
Yes, like Sugar Puffs, I guess.
Is there any team that you could use the Honey Monster? Not really. There's not a Honey football club or anything, is there?
I don't think so. Oh. Listeners, write in and tell us, or watchers rather. So, what's he doing here? He's knocking the ones off that he's already got on, but there's only 10 seconds left, so he's not going to do it.
Yeah,
Never going to give you
get
one!
yourself out.
Ooh, only just got out in time.
Oh, okay, let's get a wee hug.
Unfortunate, unfortunate. Never mind, because guess what it's time for now?
The Crystal Dome.
Yes, it's time to go to the Crystal Dome!
Do, 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 do. I don't think they'll get very many seconds. Maybe about 35, 40 seconds at best.
That's not going to be enough, is it, unfortunately? Well, let's see how they do in the Crystal Dome.
Seven, so we'll get 35 seconds.
Christmas tree formation of the crystals there. Crystalmas tree formation.
7 crystals, that's 35 seconds of time to go inside the Crystal Dome and try and collect as many gold credits as you possibly can.
Ah. Now this is the thing that I always wanted to have a go at as a kid. There was a particular fetish for this sort of thing in the early 90s. If you remember Noel's House Party.
I was going to say...
Yes, there was a similar game called... What was it called?
Is Extravagant or something, was it?
Yes, and
Something like
the contestant would go inside something like a phone box. They would start the fans, and £1,000 worth of £10 notes would blow around, and they would have to grab it and put it in their pockets. And whatever they got, they could keep. I loved these games as a kid, and I always wanted to have a go at them.
Yes.
I've got a relevant story here. There used to be an offer on the old Walker's Crisp back in the mid-90s where you could actually win the chance to, I think it was actually go on the Crystal Maze or something like that.
Cool.
But my dad played a trick on me because he said that if you get one of those blue sachets with the prize in, you would get to go to a big building with lots and lots of money in it, and you could scoop it all up and take as much home with you as possible. Yet, when I opened my blue sachet, it said, free packet of crisp, and it was salt and vinegar, and I hate salt and vinegar. So you can imagine I was bitterly disappointed. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking over the most exciting part of the game, which actually isn't very good viewing at all.
I actually think, okay, you've only got 35 seconds and what have you, but surely you've got time to not put silver ones in there at all, because we concentrate and try and get as many gold in there. Because how many times do you see them getting like 120 gold but 200 silver? Like, if they'd just been a little more careful.
That's right, but I guess if you've only got 30 seconds, you think to yourself, let's just get as many as we can and shove them all through. And I know a lot of teams just did that because they ended up with 50 or 60 more silver than gold. They just shoved them all in. I imagine there are far, far more silver tokens in there than gold.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've done quite well, but they did have double the amount, but I still don't think they've done enough, but we'll see.
I think they were actually sorting the tokens, and it was very, very difficult. You do need a lot of time to do it. They just didn't have enough time, because as you'll hear Reckless Rick say in a minute, they didn't collect quite enough. They didn't even collect 100 gold, so guys watching, you need 100 gold after deduction of silver to win the grand prize, which they have not done.
But they've got the crystals.
Yeah, if I went on this show, I would have been very, very happy with the crystal.
Yeah, I cracked the Crystal Maze. I wonder how much they're going for on eBay.
Oh, quite a lot. Let's actually check right now.
Yes.
Harry Yack checks eBay live on the Crystal Maze commentary.
You have to do it fast because it's finishing soon.
Well, we'll go into overtime. Crystal Maze, Crystal.
Thank you, Sherry. Did a very nice job of leading this team onward, and you did very well. Did very well. Thank you very much for popping by.
See what comes up. Oh, maybe I'll get my activity book back. Yay! The Crystal Maze vintage board game. Oh, the show has ended. Now, I don't know if you noticed there, that was heavily edited for the rebroadcast. So he just said, well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. Whereas previously on the Channel 4 broadcast, he would have gone on for another 5 minutes about nonsense.
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. It's something I always noticed watching the FTN, as we're watching here, and Challenge Repeats. I found a Crystal Maze cap for 99 pence.
What is FTN?
I'm not sure. I don't believe it exists anymore.
Family Television Network, perhaps?
I have found a portable Grab-A-Grand / Cash Cube / Crystal Maze.
How much is it?
£2.50.
Wow.
Must buy it now. Really? That's only $2.50. Anyway, we're getting a little bit sidetracked. Unfortunately, I can't see any Crystal Maze crystals here, so there mustn't be one. But the Crystal Maze activity book is there for £12.35. I may get that, so...
Yes.
Right.
We've also ran out of time, so I don't know what footage you're going to show while we're talking gibberish.
Right, so we should have topless ladies here. Well, hey, and that unfortunately is the end of this particular commentary. So join us again next time when we'll have more topless ladies, I promise, and we'll have more of myself, Harold Rutherford Yack, and more of JL76Gaming. Have you anything to say in closing, Jay?
Yes, I'd like to say that one of our next commentaries should definitely be Topless Starts at 11, which used to be broadcast on live TV. We need to do that soon.
Yes.
Yes.
So watch out for that on Christmas Day, because it will be taken down under the YouTube community guidelines. So you've got to catch it while it's hot, so to speak.
But you will see it on Dailymotion.
On Dailymotion, on the RetroUnlim.com website.
Yes.
Well, John, I believe there's only one thing left to say.
I know what it is. May I say it? Sayonara.
No, actually, it was sayonara. Good night.
Good night.